Good evening, everyone. My name is Justin DiBiase. I am the project manager for Urban Engineers. We are the design consultant representing the City of Vineland and SJTPO here to talk today about the East Avenue Pedestrian Safety Improvements Project. This is the Public Information Center, and today is Monday, December 8th, 2025. So for the agenda tonight, we'll talk a little bit about the project background, how we got here, the project location. We'll talk through some of the existing conditions and crash history along the corridor. Next, we'll go over the proposed improvements, present those to you, and then at the end, we will take any questions and go over next steps for the project. So the project location, obviously we're in Cumberland County in the city of Vineland. The project is along East Avenue from milepost 0.76 to 1.69, but in other words, it's begins, the southern end of the project is at East Walnut Road and traversing north on East Avenue to just south of Landis Avenue is where the project ends. Where we're standing tonight at Cunningham Academy is all along the project corridor. A few things I wanted to mention also, there is a separate project along the corridor called the East Avenue Reconstruction Project, which will reconstruct the roadbed and the new curb and reconstruct curb along East Avenue. However, those two, it's the city's intention to have these two projects go into construction at the same time by the same contractors so as not to impact the traveling public twice, only one time for construction. I'll also mention there is a separate project along Chestnut Avenue, a Safe Streets for All project that goes from Delsey Drive to Main Road that is in the middle of this East Avenue project. We have a gap in our project where that Chestnut Avenue project here in blue is occurring. So next, I just wanted to show the federal process and project timeline. This project is federally funded, so we follow a federal the federal guidelines. And right now, as you can see, our current phase, we're at the end of what's called preliminary engineering, which we consider a 60% complete point. From here, we will go and get environmental approval through a categorical exclusion document. And after that occurs, we're able to go to final design. And once that's approved, we will be able to apply for funding authorization from NJDOT and the feds and begin construction, which is we currently anticipate construction occurring in 2027 for this project. So some project background. In 2022, Cumberland County adopted the Cumberland County Bicycle and Pedestrian Safety Action Plan. You can see the cover there on the right. This included the safety analysis, project selection, and concept development. So this was a joint collaborative effort between the municipalities, the county, SJTPO, and their design consultants to look at crashes along in the county and identify problem areas, problem corridors, and identify potential solutions. And that's where this project, this East Avenue project, came from. So from there, in 2023, federal funds were secured to advance all the projects that came out of here. And in 2024 is when preliminary engineering phase began, and we began with the field survey. And present, as I mentioned before, we're advancing the concepts to 60% and seeking feedback. So with all of our projects, we have a purpose and a need. The purpose for this project is to provide safety improvements through the design and implementation of multimodal and traffic calming solutions. The need, between 2018 and 2022, those 5 years, there were 90 crashes that occurred within the project limits. These safety improvements are necessary to achieve the Target Zero Commission goal of eliminating traffic deaths and serious injuries in New Jersey by 2040. So breaking those existing conditions down a little bit further, for the under mile stretch of corridor, there were 90 crashes in that 5-year span. For a severity, there were no fatal crashes, but there were 3 suspected serious injury crashes, 13 suspected minor injury crashes, 30 possible injury crashes, and 44 no apparent injury. This pie chart shows the predominant crash types, or all the crash types for these crashes. Over half of the crashes were right angle crashes. Now, these typically occur at intersections or driveways. Also, 21% of the crashes were rear end crashes, which are usually highly represented in a chart such as this. So I'm going to take you down the corridor to look at all the proposed improvements, but first just a general overview of some of the things that will be occurring here. There will be repaving and reconstruction of East Avenue throughout the project limits. We will be installing some traffic calming measures to try to get traffic to slow down and not drive fast through the project corridor. We'll be doing ADA and curb ramp improvements throughout the corridor, sidewalk connectivity and reconstruction. So we will be constructing sidewalk where there currently isn't any today, but also reconstructing some of the sidewalk that doesn't meet standards. Also, we will be performing some drainage improvements. We will be refreshing the signage and the pavement markings, the striping out there, and also having some additional signage to meet current standards. We will be widening East Avenue at Cunningham Academy for a new drop-off area for cars and buses. There will be lighting improvements at pedestrian crossings. We're currently evaluating all the pedestrian crossings for their lighting levels and upgrade to LED lights. And with all these improvements, there will be some utility pole relocations that will have to occur, and that will be coordinated with the electric utility. So I'll take you down the road here. This is the start of our project to the south, as I mentioned, Walnut Road, which is currently a 4-way stop. One of the improvements that we are proposing is the installation of an overhead flashing beacon here that would flash red to enhance the conspicuity of the stop condition there for all the approaches. Also, you could see to the north of Walnut Road, we will start the sidewalk and be installing sidewalk where there currently isn't any, along with ADA compliant curb ramps. Also in the middle of East Avenue, you could see the median islands as a traffic calming measure. Median islands basically are raised islands located along the street center line that narrows the travel lanes, and the visual appearance of narrowed lanes encourages motorists to slow down. When they're placed at or near the entrance to a neighborhood, median islands can provide a visual cue to motorists about the preferred vehicle speed and can serve as a gateway or entry feature, which is what we are doing here as northbound traffic enters the more densely residential area of East Ave. Also, we'll be installing transverse rumble strips on these approaches. I'm sure you've driven over those before to help alert drivers of the stop condition. Basically, these are raised thermoplastic pavement markings that act as a warning device to vehicles approaching a stop condition. When driven over, the strips create noticeable sound and vibration to warn drivers of an approaching intersection where they must slow down or stop. I also wanted to mention that this section of East Avenue is where the roadway will be reconstructed, so the entire roadbed will be and curb will be dug up and reconstructed with a new road surface and new curb. So heading down the corridor here to the north, you can see some of the other improvements in this area. Again, sidewalk and ADA construction, road reconstruction. Also, I wanted to mention driveways will be reconstructed throughout this corridor. And also we will be installing high visibility crosswalks. Here's an image of high visibility crosswalks. You can see the top photo is your traditional parallel bars that you see at most intersections, but the high visibility are those bottom two pictures. And high visibility crosswalks use patterns that are visible to both the driver and pedestrian from farther away compared to the traditional transverse line crosswalks. Also, we will be installing 6-foot bike lanes in this section for bicycle compatibility. Heading north, again, we have sidewalk and ADA improvements. In this section, north of Florence Avenue, we will be installing a rectangular rapid flashing beacon, otherwise known as an RRFB. You can see right there by the Regency Court apartment. So this will be a new mid-block crossing. And these RRFBs consist of 2 rectangular shaped yellow indications, each with an LED base light source. These flash with an alternating high frequency when activated via a push button to enhance conspicuity of pedestrians at the crossing to drivers. Research suggests that RFBs can result in motorist yielding rates as high as 98% at marked crosswalks and can reduce crashes up to 47% for pedestrians. So moving along, also we will be doing reconstruction through this area, driveway reconstruction, those high visibility crosswalks, and the 6-foot bike lanes in this section. And there's a photo of an RFB in action. Next, heading north to Washington Avenue, the intersection. Again, sidewalk and ADA, road reconstruction. As we head towards Chestnut, you can see the limits of our project where we stop towards the right side of this page. But we will also be installing the high visibility crosswalks here, and the bike lane will end north of Washington Avenue for northbound traffic, and it will for southbound traffic it will continue from Chestnut and heading north on East Ave. So as I said before, there is a gap in the project in Chestnut Ave where the Chestnut Avenue project has jurisdiction, but north of that our project picks back up. In this section, we will have sidewalk and ADA improvements. We will be repaving the road, so this is different than reconstructing. We won't be removing the entire road bed, save for some spot full depth repairs where we feel it's necessary. But in general, this will be milling and paving East Avenue. Also, we'll be installing high visibility crosswalks. And as I mentioned before, we'll be refreshing all of the signage, including pedestrian signage, and bringing those up to compliancy. Just north of there by Cunningham Academy, again, sidewalk and ADA improvements, road repaving, high visibility crosswalks. And there you can see the area where we will be right in front of the school, where we will be widening for a pull-off area, a drop-off area in front of the school so that buses and or cars will be able to use that. And again, also upgrading the crosswalks for the high visibility and the signage for better conspicuity of these ped locations near the school. And past the school to the north, we come to the end of our project, which is just north of Elmer Street. Again here, sidewalk and ADA improvements, road repaving, and high visibility crosswalks. That's it for our Public Information Center and my presentation here tonight. If you have any questions, you can either scan the QR code that'll take you to the project website, or you can just click on the link below. That'll take you to the SJTPO project website, and there you can learn a little bit more about our project and get in contact with the project team and give us any feedback or questions you may have. I'd like to say thank you for everyone for attending tonight's meeting, and wish you the best, and we'll talk to you guys in the future. Thanks.